I hope you're ready. This is going to be exciting.
And we got a restart zone to go. Green flag is out and we're underway.
Just a few laps into this. Oh, the 37's getting loose. Oh, and he saves it. Oh, they're going 3 wide.
We've got a 5-way fight for the win of this race coming to 4 laps to go. Spectacular fashion.
Welcome to Goat Talk Live.
I don't know. I get a little tired of hearing, right?
The 99 is terrible. Here, I'm lacking for some reason. It's real white and flabby.
WTF. What are we doing?
Eddie, I tell everybody who'll listen that we're a really big deal.
Continues to grow and grow and grow.
All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Goat Talk Live, presented by SAVE22, SAVE22.vet. Go check them out on the website and on YouTube at SAVE22vet on their YouTube channel. Got to thank y'all for joining us. Pat, how are we doing tonight?
Man, it's good. We're in an off week, so I've had some downtime a little bit. I would say something clever like it gave me some extra time to prepare for tonight, but we all know that didn't happen. But I'm excited, man. We got another great set of guests here tonight. We're going to have a whole heck of a lot of fun with them. And then we got some really cool stuff to talk about.
Yeah, can't wait. Can't wait. Well, before we get started, we got to talk a little bit about a ATYL Media sponsor. Something new that just came down, and we definitely want to support those who support us. And happyhourracing.com, they are scan that QR code, or you can go to happyhourracing.com/ATYL. Make sure you do that if you do buy something for sure, because that will help out ATYL Media. Let them know that you're coming from there. They had a lot of good stuff. I saw actually had something here I wanted to talk about real quick. I got something right here I'm looking to get. A little pit. I love those shirts. I can't wait to check that out. They got some Dale Jr. Bud gear, which you can't go wrong with any of that. Got some Lionel Racing, Chase Elliott Elite 2024 throwback cars. They got all kinds of stuff. So go check them out at happyhourracing.com/ATYL. Let them know that ATYL Media sent them. Fuel your passion for racing at Happy Hour Racing, your one-stop shop for the hottest NASCAR and Formula One gear. We've got the best prices on officially licensed shirts, hats, die-cast, plus supercharge your fan experience with exclusive monthly and weekly subscriptions. Get a new NASCAR hat every month. Oh, wow. Dang. Get my phone, and where's my phone? Oh, it's my webcam. Every month, or celebrate every race win with our weekly winners shirt subscription. Visit happyhourracing.com/ATYL for the latest gear and the best deals. happyhourracing.com. And you got a promo code. Really want to use that as well. If you do buy something, ATYL 2025 is what you want to put in. Get you 10% off your first order. Can't beat that. Go support Taylor Kitchen and all of ATYL Media. So thank them. And of course, SAVE22 vet, like what we talked about. If you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, if you're not watching Tuesday Talk, what are you doing? I don't know. I have no idea. What do you do with your life? Just stare at yourself. Might as well go. It's unbelievable. So, but tonight we're excited.
Yes.
We have, I've really enjoyed getting to know all of our sponsors and partners and stuff that are working together with Goat Locker to do some really awesome things. And we're going to bring them in right now. We've got from Alexander PCs, the guys who get the PCs for the sim rigs. And we got Brad Stevens and we've got TJ in the house tonight.
Why is
What's
my
going on,
camera not
guys?
working? What is up?
That's the way it goes.
It was working.
It's the perfect start.
Yeah, everything's going great in the pre-show.
There we go.
There it is.
Hey,
There you go.
we jump on here and then nothing's gonna work.
Well, we got Brad Stevens and TJ. Thank y'all so much for joining us. Thank you so much for your time. We cannot appreciate it anymore.
Thanks for having us.
As always, just introduce yourself. We all know Alexander PCs, but we don't know you, and we want to get to know you. So tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, and what you do at Alexander PC. Just real quick introduction.
Cool. Well, I'm Brad. I am creative director at Alexander PCs. I run all the socials. I run the stream. We stream builds Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I work on the website. Basically do anything brand related, sponsorships. Yeah.
TJ?
Hello, I'm TJ. I'm the president of Alexander PCs. I build PCs. I do product development. Whatever we got to do.
Cool. Well, thank y'all for joining us again. I can't appreciate it enough. But let's talk a little bit about Alexander PC. I want to know how it got started. I mean, what would you say Alexander PCs is? Let's just kind of give the viewers a rough idea of what you guys do. What's different about Alexander PCs versus like going to Dell.com and buying a system? What's the difference?
The biggest difference is just the quality of the components that go into the machine, and then the quality of the QC and testing, assembly. I've been building my own PCs for well over 20 years. I've done thousands and thousands of them. Just the whole thing started when I lost my job in automotive due to COVID, and I was pretty freaked out because my wife and I have 5 kids with unit number 6 inbound due next month. So obviously we've got some obligations and responsibilities to take care of, and being the sole breadwinner in the family, losing my job, it's actually my wife's idea. She was like, "Why don't you start that PC company you're always talking about?" And I was like, "'Cause that's insane." And she was like, "Well, you should, you've been threatening to do this for 20 years. Maybe you ought to." So, as usual, she was right. And here we are about 5 years later, and just happy to have linked up with you guys and, doing what we can do to help support you all in your mission, and long may it continue.
Well, talking about your mission, what connects you to Goat Locker? I think I know the answer. I'm leading you. It's called a leading question. What connects you to Goat Locker? What kind of brought you guys together?
Brad, you want to take this one and kind of tell how we found Goat Locker, or they found us, and then
as everybody knows, Goat Locker gives away PC rigs, and they were just looking for a partner in to get good quality PCs for veterans that deserve them. And TJ is a veteran, and it struck home. Like I feel like a lot of people have veterans in their family. I do. And it's a good cause. Like there's nothing to not support. So we're super happy to be able to provide awesome PCs. So
yeah, well, TJ, kind of talk a little bit about your time in the service. We're a veteran group. I wasn't, but pretty much everybody in chat and everybody that races here, they're all vets. And I think I grew up talking so much trash that I just fit right in. I think
that's what happened. Yeah,
it's perfect. Yeah,
right. It is. It really is.
I don't really care about anybody else's feelings. You know
Nope.
what I'm saying? It works out perfectly. So if you don't mind, kind of connect yourself to that,
Sure.
the veteran part.
I do remember the first conference call that Brad had set up with ourselves and Patrick, and we got about 3 minutes into that call, and F-bombs were flying, and I looked at Brad and I was like, "Yeah, we're fucking doing this."
Hell yeah.
So I did just one 4-year stint in the Army. Went in as a 11 X-ray unassigned Ranger. Had to go to basic and AIT, which got lumped together as OSUT at Fort Benning, down there at the fort. Is it Fort Benning again yet? I don't know what. I think it was Fort something else, and then I think they're changing it back to Benning or whatever. But did my OSUT at Benning, and then airborne school at Benning, and then RIP school at Benning, and then got stationed with 3rd Ranger Battalion at Benning. Went to Ranger School at Benning.
I sense the theme here.
couldn't get away from the old Fort Benning School for Wayward Boys, and but did the one term, did one deployment, and I worked very hard to just be barely good enough to not get kicked out of 3rd Ranger Battalion. So that was did just barely well enough to not get RFS. So that was, had some fellow servicemen that I had the pleasure to work with, and some of those guys were real BMFs, and I was able to glom on and ride their coattails for a little bit.
Well, I mean, it's been awesome being partnered together. And then, I remember sitting down with Jamie and we were talking about, hey, we want to do these sim rig giveaways. How are we going to do this? And, the first one we did, we made the mistake. So nobody persecute me right now. But, we went to Best Buy and we bought a PC, and I'm like, this isn't going to work out. This isn't going to work out at all. I'm like, we need to find a veteran owned PC builder. And then Jamie went and Googled a bunch of stuff and found you guys. And then, I jumped on a phone call, and 5 minutes later, swear words were going all kinds of sideways and everything else. And we're like, hell yeah, let's get this thing on. And, I don't know if you guys have had a chance to kind of encapsulate what you've done for all of us, but you guys know that you've built 9 PCs for us so far?
Is it 9?
Yes.
Wow.
And I think, like 7 of them have probably even been on time.
That's overestimating. Let's not go that far, TJ. But I mean, you guys have built 7 PCs that have gone out to veterans. You built the PC for our mobile simulator. And then you built the PC that I'm currently operating on right now, my one for my racing rig and everything that we do. And I know a couple guys within the league and everything like that have had, PCs built for them as well. So I can't say thanks enough.
That's awesome.
Eddie's probably going to be like, oh, okay, stop talking nice and all this other kind of crazy stuff. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of it. He always jumps in there with some snarky remark. But man, 9 PCs. And it's been amazing. And we got a lot more to go this year, for sure. But we also got a couple things coming up. Me and you, Brad, were on the phone the other week talking about a couple things. So let's talk about that now. And then Eddie's going to flash some cool stuff.
Yeah.
I think we did this before too, didn't we, Eddie?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we're actually going to be featured as the main sponsor for the Chicago Sim Racing Expo in September. I believe it's 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Mm-hmm.
And we're providing all the PCs. The sim convention is for sim racing, sim flying, military sim, farming sim,
goat simulator.
Yeah,
let's not forget about the goat simulator.
And there's going to be podcast booth. There's going to be like streaming booths. There's going to be an esports arena. LAN center. It sounds like it's going to be an awesome event. There's really nothing like this in the Midwest, at least. And it's the first year, so if anybody's interested in coming out, you're invited. It's in Chicago, actually Schaumburg, Illinois, but close enough to Chicago.
Close enough.
And yeah, it should be a pretty awesome event.
Yeah. And then you guys called me up for some reason, and you're
Mhm.
like, hey,
Yeah.
how about you go, guys? Pack up your racing stuff, and we'll put you in the booth with us and hang out and all the other fun stuff. So Goat Locker Racing will be there with Alexander PCs as well to show off the PCs you guys have built for us.
Yep.
And to hang out, have a whole lot of fun, and I guess geek out, nerd out. I don't even know the right term.
Yeah.
Nerd.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll go with nerd.
And there'll be some. There's going to be a lot of exhibitors from what we're learning from the producers. Fanatec is also going to be there with us. So Corsair will be there, Fanatec will be there, Elgato will be there, Simicube will be there. So there's going to be a lot of. There's a flight sim company called Invictus Cockpits. They're going to bring an F-16 simulator out for us that's going to be in our space. So you guys can fuck around with that. And, it'll be, it should just be good time, man. know?
Yep.
That sounds. I need to get in that F-16 simulator. I'm a DCS guy. I love flying DCS, flying the different simulators. So
I had a long discussion with Tim Short from Invictus the other day about optimizing hardware for the DCS game engine, and we were having a back and forth about whether we should go with the 14th gen Intel because the prices have come down a lot on it, and you still get the highest single core clock speed on that from any other chip. And then we're looking at some more recent data for newer versions of the engine where the 9800 X3D was actually outperforming because of the size of the L3 cache. And I can see Patrick's eyes starting to glaze over.
You lost me at hello.
Hey, but I'm all in. I'm
geeking out right now,
dude. I'm trying not to jump in too much here and let Pat give us some space. But I'm a huge PC nerd. I love everything about it. You can see I've got a little bit of stuff back here. I've got a little Peerless Assassin back there. I got there's a case over there. I've been building my own PC since I was probably 11 years old. I think I took apart a Gateway, if you remember those. I took that apart, and I was like, I'm gonna make this better somehow. Which is, you really didn't make those better, but it was a lot of fun. So I love PC hardware. I actually just got a 5090 Founders Edition today. I got lucky, got in on one of the drops, so I was able to snag one of those. So I can't wait for that to come in. But I kind of wanted to know a little bit about what's going on over there at Alexander PCs with the PC hardware landscape where it is now. The GPUs so hard to get just for the average person. What's it like for sort of a boutique? Is it okay if I call y'all a boutique?
Yeah. Sure. We're trying to be more mainstream without being mass market. We've made some moves just in our kind of internal supply chain to help lower some costs. We've sought out some alternative vendors that'll work with us directly without going through a third-party distributor so that we can cut costs down. And that's been working well. So we've got some exciting developments in the pipeline there. But yeah, you nailed it, man. We are in the kind of the clutches of a global GPU shortage right now. NVIDIA in their infinite wisdom decided to roll out the 50 series right smack in the middle of Lunar New Year when all production shuts down for like 2 weeks. Then there's a tariff issue that's also got some manufacturers doing some reevaluating in terms of how they want to handle their production processes, and maybe more pertinently where they want to handle their production processes. So that's, there's kind of a lot of factors. Of course, the 5090 and 80 rolled out on January 30th, at least in theory.
Paper launch, baby.
Dude, this was the worst paper launch I've ever seen. Yeah, it was. We saw internals. So like Micro Center nationally had a grand total of 233 5090s for launch day. That's every Micro Center in the country combined. So there were, I think, somewhere short of like 6,000 units for the whole country for launch day. So it's just nowhere near demand. And but 5070 Ti launch was today. So about almost 12 hours ago, 11 hours ago, something like that. We've got the new Radeon, the 9070 XT. It's going to be rolling out first week of March, along with the 5070. So just if you were up to date on GPUs like 2 months ago, now everything you know is wrong, because they've just decided to condense the entire 50 series product stack into like a month and a half rollout window. So it's, in a way, it's kind of like being back in the military where you just, hey, these circumstances suck. And it's, well, figure it out, dumbass. So here we are figuring it out.
Well, have you guys been able to get stock? I know, 50 series in general has been tough, but it seems like some, the different builders have been able to get some stock. Have y'all run into big trouble with that? Have y'all been able to get at least some?
Yeah, so 5090s have been a huge problem, very constrained. The reality is there just aren't any units. And, the 5080s, we've actually been able to keep in stock consistently since launch. We've been able to just leverage the relationships we have with the board partners. And, it's another thing I dump on Brad sometimes to manage those relationships with other brands when it comes to co-marketing and such. So we got to keep ourselves on the nice kid list, not the naughty kid list, rather. And then when it comes time for launch days, we can kind of punch above our weight and get realistically, relative to the size of our organization, we get a pretty insane level of service and access. So, we got a steady supply of ASUS 4080s right now, Zotac 4080s. We've got a couple of MSI 5090s, more units inbound from PNY and MSI. So we've got, really everybody but Gigabyte. And that's not necessarily an accident, but we don't buy their motherboards, so they don't really support us on the VGA side as much. But we've got confirmed allocation for Radeon 9070 XT launch already as well. So we've definitely been able to make a pretty good show of it when it comes to availability at launch in a pretty shitty climate, honestly.
Yeah. Well, you guys didn't camp out anywhere, did you? Y'all see all the folks camping out?
Yeah. They're
2 or 3 days.
Oh God.
Yeah, there's still we know pretty well the people that handle the micro centers near us. There's one in Westmont, Illinois, which is about an hour away from us, and then one in Chicago. We're out in the Northwest burbs, but we get pretty good insights into what is going on the retail side through our connections there. And what we've been told is that it was feels like temp of like -12 here the other morning, and there were still people camping out for like 2 hours before they opened.
No way.
Yeah.
You would have told me 10 years ago that people would camp out for 3 days for a $2,000 graphics card. I would have called you a liar.
Yeah.
And you're crazy. But that's what it does. What FOMO does.
Well, they give these vouchers. So at Micro Center, what they do is they get a list in the morning of everything that they're going to get by FedEx Express that afternoon. So the FedEx will show up, between like 11 and 1, depending on the day for them. But they'll know prior to opening at 10 a.m. what's headed their way that day and how many units they're getting. So they'll hand out vouchers in the morning, right when the store opens at 10. And what that effectively does is it encourages people to scalp them, because
Oh,
you don't even have to buy the fucking thing. Like
Yeah.
you can just show up, wait in line, and get the voucher.
Yeah,
Doesn't
sell the
cost
voucher.
anything, and then people just sell the voucher. So
wow.
so you've got all these college kids and the
Yeah.
I don't have anything to do class, showing up and camping out for vouchers because there's no financial barrier to entry whatsoever, because
No.
you can just get that voucher and then turn around and flip that voucher for a tidy little sum. And it is driving kind of that secondary market. And I don't really have a short of mass executions. I don't have a I don't really have a I don't have a serious.
We're gonna take a commercial break.
Yeah, we
We'll
gotta,
be right
we gotta
back.
go.
We'll be right back.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, I'll be honest.
You can't stop it.
It was
No.
when I got the car today. Of course, you get it at Best Buy for $2,000, which the normal AIB partners are going for $2,400, $2,500. And I look just to laugh, I looked on eBay at what the sold amount for a $2,000 graphics card. What the sold amount? So people are buying these.
Yep.
$4,900.
I was to say it's close to $5,000 probably.
So I get it. I get where the allure is. That's hard to turn down, but it's really making everything tough. So, but it's driving up prices of older cards, like the B580s. Is that the new art? The new art?
The new art card from Intel.
Yeah, they're $400, and their MSRP was $250. So it's wild.
You can get, so if you get the Intel version, that's like the Founders Edition on the NVIDIA side. If you get the actual Intel version, they're $249. Brad and I have done a bit of testing on the B580. We have a couple, and they're just, again, it's just inconsistency in being able to source them. We want to put them in the model lineup, the B580, because at $250, or you can get an aftermarket OC version from Sparkle or ASRock for still under 300, and you're not real far off the the benchmark scores and performance levels of a 4060, which for somebody that's just looking for an esports machine, or really anything in 1080, I mean, even a 4060 is pretty damn sweet for 1080p. And I mean, we were even clocking 200 plus FPS in Overwatch with like an RX 6600, which is a couple tiers down from that B580 and the 4060. So I think a lot of the hype obviously is around the high dollar stuff, and the talk of scalping, and aftermarket sales at 500% of retail or whatever, like that kind of dominates the content space when it comes to all that stuff.
Most people overbuy for what they need. Most people spend way more money than they actually need.
We do a lot of like what we call patient education on that kind of stuff, because we just try to ask a lot of questions like, what are you actually going to do with this machine? Because
I always tell people, if you live on the bleeding edge, you're going to get cut, and that's sort of what happens. You're going to have to deal with all the bugs. Anything that happens that's new. I mean, gosh, you got power cables in the 5090s. Some of them setting ablaze, so you're kind of waiting around to see what that's going to come. Have y'all had to deal with any of that? Have y'all kind of looked into that at all? Been worried?
Yeah, we've delved actually pretty deeply into that, because we have been able to get our hands on a small number of 5090s. We haven't made any of them publicly available yet, because we've got a waiting list of existing customers that have purchased from us before, that we want to prioritize, with things being so limited. And but we've done just stupid amounts of evaluating and testing and making sure that these things aren't going to have a problem, because the nightmare scenario for us is that we've got an existing customer who's now coming back to us for another machine. This is somebody that we've got a long-standing relationship, that's spending let's be real, a boatload of money with us. So it's a significant investment. Really, most of the stuff we sell, I think the overwhelming majority of our client base would consider a PC a major purchase. And so it's a responsibility we take seriously because, people are spending their money with you, which is, pretty cool, but it's also kind of humbling in the respect that somebody's shelling out a bunch of dough. You've got an obligation to make it right. And, follow through. So we've been just very leery about shipping these things if we're not 1,000% comfortable with test results or what we're seeing in terms of thermals and such, because if we ship this thing off to the client and there's an issue and the card ends up bricked or damaged or something like that, we know that in the current ecosystem we're operating in, it could be months before we're able to replace that product for them. And that's not what we're going for somebody that's spending thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
So,
for anybody in the audience, which we got a lot of folks in the audience, what we're talking about is graphics card. It's a thing you plug your monitor into, by the way. I know a lot of you are just glazing over right now, going, what the hell is a 970 XT? What is a 5090? What is an AIB? What the hell is this? So it's a thing you plug your graphics card or your monitor into. Hopefully you plug it in there. If you got the Goat Tech from a couple weeks ago, not to plug it in the top one, down at the bottom.
right.
But yeah, so in the burning cable thing for all you viewers out there, the new it was a problem in the 4090s, but it's now kind of gotten worse just because of the power draw of the 5090 and the 5080. 5080 is probably not going to have too many issues, but the 5090, 575 watts through what it should be a 600 watt cable, and it has caused a few issues of melting connectors at the GPU. So it's sort of nerve wracking. You want to make sure you have all the right hardware before you buy something like that. But I tell you what, damn near 600 watts. That is crazy to pump through some of these cables. So not surprising, but it's definitely been an issue that a lot of guys owners have dealt with over the last, even since the 4090, which had a couple melting connectors from plugging it in wrong. So
yeah, the 50 series reviews overall have been kind of mixed. That's something, Brad and I gave a little on the live stream the other day. We gave our review of the reviews, and it was, the TLDR of it all is basically, if you have a 40 series card, it's not, it's not enough of a generational leap in performance probably to shell out your money for the 50 series. But if you're coming from a 30 series or a 20 series, and it's not going to be, don't sell your plasma or pawn your baseball cards. But but if it's something that you can fit within your budget, reasonably, or you've got, tax return or something like that coming up, then it's probably worthwhile. The actual die hasn't changed in manufacturing terms from 40 series. So it's kind of, I guess the racing analogy would be, how much
same block size.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, how much faster do you really think you can make that car? If you haven't increased the, the engine size or whatever else, if you're still, there's only so many variables, right? So you can tweak the compression ratio or, run it a little richer or whatever you want to call it, fuel mix or however. And there's, you can kind of tweak stuff or whatever, but at the end of the day, we've just hit that point, I think, with semiconductor manufacturing where it's no longer, like the old, push rod engine to the turbo and stuff. It's not that kind of generational leap anymore. And it's more of like a marginal kind of incremental improvement. Like the 2025 Ford Raptor is going to probably look a lot like the 2024 Ford Raptor. It's not, there's not going to be a full on refresh anymore with these GPUs at this point. Yeah,
unless you're at the very top end, would they somehow continue to pump through the the FE model of the 5090 is, to me, a masterpiece. I said it was an engineering masterpiece, the way that they fit a 2-slot card, and they're going to pump 575 watts through that thing and cool it. It's pretty incredible. And the jump in that one, it was pretty massive, but it's also double the price of a 5080, which is insane to think about. So while the performance is there in those top of the line, NVIDIA knows it, and they just continue to push that limit of how much will these folks pay for this? And the answer is yes.
Exactly.
They will. So I love PC hardware. I do get a little bit worried about the landscape of it because of just how NVIDIA has a chokehold on the top end and how they can kind of set prices for whatever they want. I think the data centers and stuff definitely probably play a lot into that. But I think you're definitely right. I think even if you're on a 3080, you still got plenty of legs, especially playing iRacing. iRacing uses very little. I think the biggest upgrade that I got was going to an X3D CPU because it definitely uses that L3 cache. Most simulation things seem to really like that. Flight Simulator 2024, if you're on that, you better be on an X3D CPU. It kills it. And AMD, Intel, I don't have an issue with either. But I just got tired of trying to cool a damn Intel I enjoyed. I've got a 7950 X3D in this one, and in my iRacing PC, I have 7800 X3D, and I've been pretty satisfied with those. Temperatures are a lot lower, easier to cool. It's been really nice.
Yeah, the Core Ultra stuff from Intel, as we've seen a huge increase in just energy efficiency.
Yeah.
It was kind of a necessary step for Intel because if you look at like 13900K, 14900K, that was kind of the logical limits as far as you could, take that particular CPU architecture and, just overvolt the shit out of it and, and give it the thermal overhead that you need to not cook it. That was sort of the, kind of as far as you could take that, and it was necessary for them to kind of go back and retool and get more energy, get more power efficiency and thermal efficiency in that core design. The downside of that is you end up with a Core Ultra platform where everything is single threaded, so there's no hyper threading, no dual threaded cores. So you've got each logical core is just a single thread. You've got essentially lower clock speeds, lower performance relative to the previous generation. So it's a newer product that actually performs worse than the previous product, which isn't very exciting. But the reality is it's kind of a template and a platform that was necessary for them to take the next, step forward in terms of the overall arc of their CPU evolution.
Well, productivity was really good. It knocks everything out of the park when it comes to like streaming, Photoshop, video editing. Does really well for those, which it may run into trouble when Ryzen releases those AI Maxes. They look really awesome, but I think it really did really good there. It's just the gaming performance. I seen people really hated out of the Core Ultra series. It really kind of stunk that one up. I think it was a good CPU. It just didn't.
It is a good CPU on like the studio side. It's got the Xe2 AI cores, which is new. Luckily, they didn't change really the physical dimensions of the socket in any way, so nobody had to retool for coolers and that kind of stuff. But I could talk about this shit all day.
Yeah, I'm in danger.
Hey, Brad, you want to go grab a drink somewhere?
Yeah.
And let these two just pat it out for a little while?
This was the danger. Okay, we'll stop it. This is the danger of doing this tonight. Is
grab us some Jimmy John's or something, man.
I can do this.
Sounds great to me.
Yeah, I love talking shop. Well, let's get out of the nuts and bolts a little bit, and let's talk about what guys folks can expect out of Alexander PCs that hasn't bought from you. I'd love to know what the process is like. What kind of goes into me. I want to put it in an order for Alexander PCs. What's that process going to look like, and timetables, all that type of stuff. What can they expect?
Go ahead, Brad. I feel like I've talked too much.
No, you haven't.
Yeah.
TJ, you haven't. It's my fault. It's my fault. You've done great, man.
Yeah.
It's totally my fault.
Yeah, so we have 12 different models on our website you can choose from. If you have questions, you can call us, email us, text us, any way you want to contact us. We're there to answer any questions. If you if you don't like anything model wise, you have some specific parts you'd like to use, you can do a custom. We'll do custom. We'll change cases if you don't like cases. And right now it's about like a 3-week turnaround time, and we're in contact with you throughout the whole process. We even build PCs on stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday, so you can see how we build. We use custom cables, extensions. Got to make it look pretty, and we test the heck out of it before you even get it in your hands. The whole goal is for it to be kind of like a console. So you plug and play, you get it home, you unbox it, and plug it in, turn it on, install your games, you're ready to go. Our QA process is updating BIOS, updating drivers, making sure everything is ready for you right out of the gate. So you don't need to have any sort of like technical knowledge to start gaming. Because I feel like that's kind of like the scariest part is everybody talks about drivers and keeping them up to date and all that stuff. You don't have to worry about that.
No,
we
I
do
think that
for
was
you.
one of the most awesome parts about working with you all, especially when I was having the one built for the mobile simulator, and I was like, I just needed to do this. And then I think Brad started spitting out a bunch of numbers and letters to me, and I'm like, I just needed to do this. And I trust that you're going to build it the right way. You talked about that earlier, and I think TJ talked about that too, is you listen to your customers. Tell us what you want to do with this machine, and we'll go build the machine that you need. And I know when we came to you guys with the veteran sim rigs, and I said, this is what it needs to do, you all went out there and did the research about iRacing. You said, hey, it's not so much GPU, it's more CPU. So this is what we're going to do, and this is how we're going to build it. And I'm like, awesome. And time and time again, anytime I've ever come to you guys and said, hey, this is what I need, you listen and you go build it. And I will still tell everybody that to this day, the greatest story I can tell about Alexander PCs is when you guys did build that mobile simulator for us. Because I told you it was going to be outside, 90-degree weather, running a sim for probably 10 hours straight, and I needed that thing to perform. And that's exactly what it did. I mean, we were outside, 90-degree weather on a black asphalt parking lot with our racing simulator, and that thing never skipped a beat. Nor did it skip a beat when we were at the FFA convention and we funneled thousands of kids on and off the sim for 3 straight days, and that thing got a workout and never skipped a beat. So I think that's been one of the most awesome experiences for me when it comes to Alexander PCs. I am not Eddie. I cannot speak intelligently about it. So I think that's really cool about your organization is you can talk to the dumb guy that just says, I needed to do this. And then you can talk to the really smart guy and you can geek out about, the different pieces and parts and make it exactly what you need it to be. So I cannot rave enough about the organization, and man, I am excited for September as well. I get to hang out in person, and all the fun stuff that's going to happen at that.
Well, September event's going to be fun, and I really view our enterprise very similar to like a trade. You can absolutely always DIY for less money, right? Just like you can install your own water heater in your basement for less money. And Eddie's the guy that likes to plumb, and he likes to get in the weeds and figure out which model of water heater is going to give him the, how many therms and gallons per minute and all that stuff. And Pat's like, dude, I just want to take a fucking hot shower. And so,
Yep.
and that's, and we're really more for that guy. Not that we can't accommodate people that want very specific things.
I mean, you have some art pieces there. I mean, you could. They're really beautiful, like machines. I know some people don't maybe appreciate it, probably Pat, but I look at these and I'm thinking, golly, some obvious like hard work went into some of these machines. The cable management is fantastic. You would think, why does the look of a computer matter? But it shows quality craftsmanship, and I think that's what you see on the website.
Yeah, and it's just again back to I view us like a trade, right? We're a service, and to a certain extent, even though we're picky about the parts we use and everything, the reality is, to a large extent, the parts and the machines themselves are commodities. You can get those parts elsewhere. You can get them from other system builders and whatever. The reality is that the value that we bring to the customer is really in the brand and the support and kind of the ecosystem around the product, because it's a lot like buying a car, right? You can get a Honda Civic at any Honda dealer and it's the same thing. But you want to go where you're going to get treated well and you're going to get answers to your questions, and if you have a problem, you're going to get taken care of. And so that's really more of our approach to things. We have real human beings that answer the phone. You can constantly, we're on the live stream. You can pop in and ask a technical question in the live stream. We got our lead technician right there on the stream who can answer the question for you. And, the products are pure modern 2025, but we're still kind of doing business like it's 1950, which is sort of the goal.
Yeah. Well, a salesman told me one time, he says, people don't buy things from places, they buy from people. And I think that's sort of an old school mentality maybe, but I still subscribe to that. I think if you treat me right, you do go over and above what, the bare minimum, which seems to be the case most time these days, wherever you go, you're getting the bare minimum. So the bar is really not hard to clear anymore. I'm gonna be honest. I'm always surprised. I go buy tires. I just bought a set of tires today, and I'm just blown away. I'm like, my goodness, can we not do better than this? And so I definitely feel like people is who you buy from, and y'all seem like really awesome dudes, and you put together some really sweet machines. And I know Goat Lockers is super thrilled to have y'all as a partner. Can't wait to see what goes on at this show. It's going to be a lot of fun. We just got to get Pat to make sure he plugs it in the right spot this time. Pat, you want to talk?
It happened one time. One time. That's it. It happened one time. I plugged the monitor into the wrong, not into the GPU. I plugged it into the stupid motherboard, and I was freaking out at a convention. Convention's getting ready to open, and this thing's running at 10 frames a second, and I'm like, what the shit is happening? But after about an hour's worth of panicking,
time.
I figured it out, so lesson learned.
Yeah, that's wrong hole, man.
Well, that's one way of putting it. Yeah,
we call that the wrong hole support ticket.
Yep,
that's right. Yep. That's right.
Yep.
What is the biggest? You don't have to make fun of anybody, but what is the biggest silly thing that gets called in, or issues that you guys have? Do you have anything off the top of your dome?
The wrong hole is probably that's probably the number one frequent flyer. It's not a stupid thing though. I mean, if you think about it, because you've unboxed you've unboxed the machine, you've taken the foam out and whatever. And you're plugging everything else into the back of the damn motherboard, and there's a spot for the display cable. So a lot of people just plug it right in because you're already plugging a bunch of other stuff in. It's not, it's not crazy. We do put a envelope in there that goes with the machine that says, and we force people to open it because we hide the power cable in there. So I got to open it to get the power cable out. And it says, it says open first and read, which most people don't do. They just open it up. They just open it up, take the power cable out. But that's the first thing, on the front page is, big X, don't plug the display cable into the motherboard. And it's still probably our most frequent flyer tech support issue, but the good news is it's always an easy fix, and it's honestly it's an opportunity for the client to get peace of mind that they know they can get a hold of us, and we're like, man, I've seen this movie like 1,000 times, and it's a simple mistake. It's not.
Yep.
I mean, people are just I promise you, I've done loads of dumber shit.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than getting a new computer, putting it together, and then it won't turn on. You're like, what is happening here? I don't understand. And you forget, oh, I need to plug the CPU power in. I've done that quite a few times. So.
Done that one, yeah. Or you build the whole thing, and then you realize you didn't put the I/O shield in.
Yep. Yeah.
Done that one.
Fuck the shield is what I say at that point. What I say is, nobody's gonna see it. If I turn it around, nobody sees it. Okay.
All right.
Well, we have taken so much of y'all's time, and we definitely appreciate it. We thank y'all so much for being a part of Goat Locker and the Goat Locker, being able to give out sim rigs. We got a few of them in the chat, and Brian Frawhiger, the last one that got one, he said the etch glass is badass and really is my favorite feature of the PC y'all built. So, love what y'all do. We try to shout y'all out as much as we possibly can. We know and we appreciate what you guys do out there, and appreciate the support that you guys have given to Goat Locker. And so just wanted to say that, and thank y'all so much for coming on. It's really been a blast to get to talk shop. I don't always get to talk and nerd out when Pat's here, so you can tell I'm trying to pull back the reins a little bit, but it was a lot of fun. Good to meet you, Brad and TJ. But we appreciate y'all coming on.
Yeah, thanks
for having us.
Thanks for having us, and thanks for letting us be part of the Goat Locker community. It's something that as a veteran, obviously, I believe in what y'all are doing, and if people can feel that sort of community support, and just sometimes you just need to get through that next 5 minutes, and then it's all right. Well, I did that, and get through the next 5 minutes to the next 5 minutes, and then just one foot in front of the other until things get better. And if you just keep doing that, things get better.
Absolutely, man. But I appreciate you guys as well. Obviously, I'll go back to being dumb, which I appreciate you guys allowing me to be, and, the next time I hit up Brad or whatever the case is and be like, hey, he'll just take care of it for me. So, God, appreciate the hell out of you guys.
Yeah, go to AlexanderPCs.com.
Yes.
Obviously, if you're going to buy a computer, please buy from the folks that you know are going to take care of. You don't buy from some place that you don't know who. You talk to them, and you talk to them in a different probably part of the world, if I had to guess. And you never know what kind of support you're going to get. Never know what kind of product. You can go watch the streams, watch them hand built and done just for you. So go check out Alexander PCs, guys. Thank y'all so much for coming.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Well, all right. Well, that was fun. I looked over a couple times, Pat, and I could just see you just like, please shut up.
I mean, I'm out here in dum land,
Well, I realized about halfway through when me and TJ were talking that we were throwing out numbers and letters by the mile, and I was like, you know what? I don't think anybody knows what the hell we're talking about. So.
Well, there's a few. For sure. You see some of the guys.
McCarthy probably knows. I know he does.
From John Moser from SAVE22 just jumped on.
Hey, John.
Hey, John. And man. I mean, I can't. I'm just glassed over at that point in time. My neck got a good workout because I'm trying to stay engaged. I'm just like, yep, yeah. Numbers.
I just love it. It's everybody's got their hobby.
They do.
And you know what? That's been one that I've been kind of like I tried to hide when I got into college, because I'm trying to meet girls, so I'm like, oh, I don't know anything about computers, I'm going to be in psychology, But yeah, it's just I love the hobby. I love learning about hardware. PC hardware is just, I can't get enough. It's like eating cake on Thanksgiving.
Well, you're going to have to get enough, Eddie.
No.
Yeah, for this evening's purposes.
No, we're going to talk some more.
Oh, we're just going to keep going?
Yeah. So anyway, what do you think?
I'm going to go back to nodding again.
No, we got to talk about fun stuff. We got a lot of stuff going on. We just want to shout them out one more time. Alexander PCs, thank y'all for scanning the QR codes. That just lets them know that y'all are engaged. Even if you're just going and looking. If you buy something though, man, that would be a great place to buy it from. Also, happyhourracing.com. We talked about that at the first part of the show. Go check those folks out. I got some stuff I'm about to order from there. I'm getting that 10% off on that. That is basically what you're wearing, but Kyle Larson, that Valvoline. That
kind of what I'm wearing.
That's that's a pit shirt, is it not?
Well, it's
not a pit shirt?
sublimated. Well, we're gonna go with it.
Well, that's what this is. It's a sublimated thing. Whatever you said.
It's not an actual track thing. It's cool. They got a lot of really cool products.
Look, I'm glazing over now.
Yeah, you're gonna start. You do a better job out of it, man.
But yeah, go check out. They got some cool stuff. I'm not gonna lie. 10% off. I mean, gosh, you get a diecast 10% off. I mean, that's a pretty good little deal, and that helps out Taylor Kitchen over there at
absolutely
Love the Yellow Line. Support them. They're trying to set up a partnership, so if we can get some support there, that'd be great. Well, golly, that was I was so locked in that I forgot what the show has in it. What else do we do on the show, Pat?
I think we talked about a couple of things in the.
I want to go back. I want to go talk to TJ.
Yeah,
again.
Well, I mean, you can call him back up. I'll. You know what? You guys can exchange phone numbers. You can whatever it is that you need to do, man.
Yeah, I felt bad. I didn't know if I meant. I was trying to highlight that I was making this bad, and I hope I didn't offend him. But
they're great people, and you know, both of them will sit there, and that's again, we talked about it before, and then we'll kind of move on. That's the. Of the many things I love about Alexander PC, that was a great example of it. They are just down to earth, great people, and they will sit and talk to you, and they'll answer your questions, and they'll geek out with you, and they'll do all those things. So it was a lot of fun. It's always a good time when I get a chance to chat with them.
I'm gonna go check out their YouTube stream.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about those builds, because I've never done a hard like an actual water cooled build. That's something I've always wanted to do. So I'm gonna go check out some of their streams, see if they got any of those. So if y'all want to check those out, definitely go check out their streams as well.
Every time they build one of the veteran rigs, they stream it.
Oh, do they really?
Every single time.
Oh, I gotta watch that then.
You could probably go back and even watch the one for the mobile simulator as well.
Oh, that's cool.
They have streamed them all. They've just been an incredible partner. But yeah, we've got this is what we call in the business a transition.
Oh.
We got a lot of things.
Segue, if you will.
A segue, or all right, you nailed. Okay, you got me.
Much better. That's
Thank you. Segue. It's a segue.
Nonprofit. We got to talk about the stuff. What's going on, Pat?
Let's talk about a few different things here.
Ready.
Yeah. So we've got a couple things that are starting to pile on the calendar. We definitely talked about one today. That first, September 6th, 7th, and 8th, or somewhere in that area. We'll be up there in Chicago with Alexander PCs at this huge sim expo, which should be absolutely amazing. Between all the different manufacturers that are going to be there, from sim racing, you're talking about SimCube, and all those folks are going to be there, and I imagine there's going to be plenty more along with those.
Yeah.
And then all the flight simulator stuff, and I really do hope somebody does a goat simulator. I think that would be amazing.
That'd be pretty cool.
I might actually have to just pull it up on ours for a little while, but that's going to be incredible, man. We're going to be up there for a few days and hanging out and having a good time and making some really, really good connections. We've got the Lincoln Tech Car Show that's coming up on June 28th. So be on the lookout for some more details as we start to put that thing together, but mark your calendars there on the Indianapolis campus. And then I had I've talked about this a couple different times, but on I think it's May the 3rd, the first weekend in May, SAVE22 has their 9th annual hike, and they bring a lot of veterans and first responders together to do this hike in Massillon, Ohio. And we were invited to come out as a partner, and we're definitely going to be there. And
we don't have to react to every just talk, Pat.
Well, it's about me. They
all seem to be about you.
Yeah, I don't even understand. I don't even understand why that guy's in chat.
Here.
Shouldn't he be broadcasting something? Oh, it's the same guy.
That's about me.
But so we were invited out as a partner of theirs. We're going to definitely have the mobile sim out there. We should have the car out there as well. There's John Moser from SAVE22 right there. But I had a phone call with them this morning, and awesome if you haven't followed them on social media, please do. They were down at Daytona. They sponsored a couple different cars with a couple different drivers. It was amazing to see. Ryan Roulette was one of them, who drives for the VFW. So they did some other things within the Xfinity series as well. Things went so well for them. I guess they just turned around and they're heading right to Atlanta this weekend. So they're back there. But they, I got a chance to talk with both of them this morning. And so for the hike coming up and their event in May, they've asked me to be the keynote speaker. And I graciously accepted that. So
awesome.
if you don't like listening to me enough, show up in person and they're going to hand me a microphone. And I get to talk to the entire crowd there that day, which I'm super excited for because what an amazing organization that we get to be partnered with.
Yeah.
And we get to be there as well with our stuff. So
I'm going to be honest, Pat, I have loved every bit of getting to know these people. John Moser is amazing. I would love to meet him in real life. He just seems like a swell guy. And then
Did
Amber.
you just say swell?
Yeah. I'm a 1950s guy. Amber from Jam Printing Promotions, she was awesome. I feel just these great partners, man. I mean, Chris was awesome last week, and you got TJ and Brad here tonight. And then everybody has been so awesome to sit and talk with. It's been great. So
yeah, and more coming. We more and more things coming up on the horizon here, and so I guess if you're sitting down doing the math. The event in Columbus, Ohio, the first weekend in March, which is basically a week and a half from now. It's a 70-30 right now. We're still trying to piece a couple things together. I'm still hoping to make it out there. Hopefully we can get that taken care of as well. But again, May the 3rd, we'll be there in Massillon, Ohio with SAVE22. We've got the car show in June at this point in time. Then we'll turn around and head up to Chicago to be there at the big Sim Expo with Alexander PCs. And then, oh, by the way, I don't think anybody's heard any announcements about where Goat Locker is going to racetracks at. So we still have a bunch of those announcements to make. So we'll start making those announcements as well. What races we're going to. We got a bunch of tickets donated again, so we'll be able to invite a lot of people out. It'll be the same deal as last time. When we went to Bristol, we've got your ticket, we've got you a place to stay. You just got to show up. We'll take care of everything else. So we're excited for that. I'm excited to do some things with NASCAR again this year. I'm excited to do some things with IndyCar. So on March the 7th, I think it's March the 7th, I will be at Arrow McLaren for a meeting with them. Mm-hmm. So hopefully, hopefully I don't get kicked out. I didn't get kicked out the last 2 times I went. But,
don't touch the Kyle Larson car. If you touch
I don't make any promises, man.
No, don't touch it.
Yeah, okay. I won't touch that one. But if they got some extra parts laying around, I might try to see if I can outrun them. That's how you get a free TV at Walmart, right?
I don't think you can.
No, I can't. Those pit crew guys would come after me, and I'd be done.
Yeah, you'd be done.
Yeah.
I've got an idea that we've never talked about that I'm going to float past you on air.
Ooh.
What? One thing I've been thinking about that I would love to do is a live broadcast from one of these events.
Sure.
I would love to do something like that where either I broadcast a league race from like Nasty's or from one of these events. I think that would be just so cool. Or set up like a qualifying challenge where you guys have done laps but actually announce over it, stuff like that, and live stream it. I think that would be freaking sweet. So one of these days I'm gonna have to get to one of these because I've got some cool ideas, some things that I'd love to try to execute. And because I want to see Goat Locker is virtual and then it's live and it's severed. It's sort of a severed connection sometimes where we don't get to see it live. People can't go back and watch the SimRig giveaways and stuff like that. And I think it'd be really awesome to have sort of a live camera presence. I know Logan Thorkeld, who has been talking to you about trying to get on some of these, and me and him talked behind the scenes about trying to get some cameras there. That way we can kind of capture this. Because right now all we have is your brain is the only way we can get information in a couple pictures. So,
I take some video. Come on now.
Well, you do. You do.
There's some video,
your
but
face. It's just your face. Like it's just your face.
I don't even know why I do this.
It's not about you, Pat.
That's true. There you go. People. You got me on that one. And that Logan guy, he's on thin ice right now with his, He thinks he's funny. I don't know why he thinks he's funny, but he thinks he's funny.
Yep. Yeah.
But yeah, I would love to be able to do that, Eddie. We've talked about that as well. Just getting some better interaction, let people really see what's going on. A lot of times when it comes to these things, we're so spread across the country, and it's hard. Love to do some more things with you, Eddie, but you're in Mississippi and I'm in Indiana, so it makes it a little bit difficult. But it doesn't make it impossible. So we'll definitely have some events this year where we actually get together. We'll have some events this year where all of us will be together, including SAVE22. A lot of the conversations I had with them this morning too is they want to invite us out to the track. They want us to do events with them. So this year's calendar is going to be pretty full, and it's going to be pretty full of live events where people come out and actually see us and hang out with us if you want to, I guess. I suppose I should throw that one out there.
Why wouldn't you? I don't know.
If you want to, if you want to stop by and I don't know, shake hands, or
you want to talk to a trash driver, maybe I'll be there. Who knows?
Kick me in the groin or whatever you feel like you need to do it in that moment. But now there's so much cool stuff going on within the nonprofit world. Hard to encapsulate, but I wanted to hit some highlights here tonight. Keep everybody kind of up to speed a little bit. So start marking those dates on your calendar. We will. Oh geez, Pete. I do have to react to them. If they flash across the screen, Eddie, I'm going to react to them.
Well, okay.
You
own the damn thing. You say we'll do whatever you want, I guess. Hell, I don't know.
Nah. But I'm excited for this year. I'm excited to do some more things in person. And we're just gonna keep working, man. We're going to keep working extremely hard to do as much as we possibly can do for our community, for our veterans, for our first responders. And we found tremendous success last year by doing that Bristol race. So we want to repeat that 4 times over this year. Give more people the opportunity by moving it around a little bit and geographically and things like that. Now, if I had my way, and I get to have my way, we're definitely going to do probably the Coke 600 because that'll be in conjunction with Hendrick Fan Days. And I need to go to Hendrick Motorsports and buy a bunch of stuff. So, but the Coke 600 I think it's going to be a phenomenal race for us to go to because of all the stuff that happens because of Memorial Day and all that. So I think that's going to be cool. But y'all just stay tuned, man. We're going to be all over the place this year, and it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, well, I can't wait to see what Goat Locker does this year. And yeah, if you're a NASCAR fan, you've never been to NASCAR Mecca, I don't know what you're doing. You need to go to Charlotte. Charlotte is the place to go. And I've been to a Coke 600. I actually went to the most boring Coke 600 ever. The one where it was in 2016, I think. Martin Truex Jr. led 392 out of 400 laps.
Yeah. Yep.
But these days in the next gen car, it's actually pretty dang good. So I'm looking forward to that one. So that's cool that y'all are going there. That'll be a lot of fun. A lot of stuff going on in the nonprofit. A lot more to come. So
yes, sir.
Keep you. We can't give everything away.
Not today.
Shows every week.
Yeah.
Well. We'll segue to one of my favorites, and that is Goat of the Week. It's where we highlight somebody just made a difference, does some really cool things, just whatever the criteria is. And Pat, I'm gonna start with you. Who's your Goat of the Week?
Well, my Goat of the Week is Regis Clark, and many people will be like, "Why? He hasn't raced with us in forever." For a very valid reason. He's been deployed for the past 9 months. He'll pop his head in every now and again and say hi and all those types of things. And if you know anything about Regis Clark, man, he is the comedy show here at Go Locker Racing. But he's been deployed for the past 9 months, and he's actually flies home this evening.
Oh, awesome. No kidding.
Yeah. So I got that news today from him.
Discord's going to be lively again. Thank God.
Business is about ready to pick up. The prodigal son has returned.
Soapbox is going to be back to work in order.
But I was so happy. We were packing up all the hoodies today from the second order, and I had held on to his hoodie from the first order because he asked me to. So I hit him up and I'm like, "Hey man, where do you finally want me to send this to?" And he gave me his address, and he's like, "I fly home tonight." And I'm like, "That's amazing, man." He's been deployed a very long time. Yeah, he's coming back home. I'm so excited for him, and so he is my Goat of the Week.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to give my Goat of the Week to my teammate in ARCA series, Devin Smith. Man, I'll tell you what, that dude has definitely integrated into the group. He did some stats. He put his time in, did some stats for the ARCA series,
Yeah.
which I thought was really cool. He's gotten a lot better. And he's actually become sort of a buddy of mine. I'm really happy that Devin Smith is here, and he's been a good teammate in the ARCA series. We've been doing that Pro-Am split. Really excited to see if we can take the ship and get that T-shirt with. We got to come up with a better name before we get the T-shirt. But yeah, he's been awesome, man. He's been hanging out with us on Monday nights, and man, just a solid dude. He actually, I don't want to say this wrong, but I'm pretty sure he said he would. I think he works at Arrow McLaren, or his wife does.
His wife does.
Yeah. And so he offered up some guys, hey, if y'all ever want to come tour the facility, he said I'll make it happen. So what a great guy, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just out of nowhere, just said, hey, if y'all want to do this, I'll try to make it happen. So Devin Smith, he's going to be my goat of the week.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
Well, we got to talk about our Warrior Spotlight now. That's the new thing. I'm going to mess up multiple times, but
no, you won't. You got it. You're a professional.
I've been nailing it, but it's going to happen. But this one on February is Daniel Kirkiel. Well, if you don't know who Daniel Kirkiel is, where the hell have you been? You must not race here, because he is in everything. He's always putting up. He might be the permanent goat of the week. He might be the permanent goat of the year.
Well, we might have to keep stats for that. Maybe there will be a goat of the year.
He might be, because he has, man, he's done so much every week. He's in there putting up practice sessions. He's offering to help people who need help. Man, if we could have 30 Daniel Kirkiels, man, I tell you what, it'd be this league would be way better.
We could have 30 more of him and 2 less Logans.
Okay.
Okay.
Which Logan?
I said 2 less.
Oh, so both of them.
Stay with me.
All right. Anyway, but let's go through it. Man, Daniel's awesome. He does he admins 2 different series. He puts in a lot of work. He's an EMT with AMR in St. Louis for 6 years. In addition to providing private 911 and transfer services, he is a part of AMR's emergency response team. He has deployed for 22 weeks to Chicago and New York to provide support during the COVID crisis, as well as to Eastern Tennessee and North Carolina for hurricane relief. Dan also serves as an admin here at GLR. Thank you for all that you do to serve your community and us here at GLR. Couldn't do it without him. I like it. Gosh, 100%. Well, we got a lot of stuff. We've kind of gone long because somebody wouldn't shut up, Pat, about talking about computer parts.
It's okay. It's okay.
But I thought we would talk to chat. We ran everybody off, but maybe we can get some people back in here. And we wanted to kind of throw some questions out there to chat, sort of an open discussion, something that we wanted to start doing here since y'all hang out and chat with us. We want y'all to be a part of this show. And the big talk this week, we had another drop of a dev diary for the new NASCAR career game. I've been playing NASCAR games forever. Since I could get on a computer, I was playing NASCAR games. The old Papyrus games, also played on the Nintendo 64. NASCAR games, NASCAR 98, the goated one. One of my favorites. I could sing almost every song off of that soundtrack. Love it.
Hey.
Yeah. Merle Haggard. It's awesome. Go back, check that one out. It's good. But there's been a lot of NASCAR games out there, and I'm curious. Anybody in chat that has had played a lot of NASCAR games, the new dev diary for the new one was about the career mode, which I'm excited about because that's something that's so badly needed, I think, in a game like NASCAR, is being able to simulate going up through the ranks, which is always, a lot of these games have been just kind of half-assed about how they do it, and it needs more depth. And it sounds like from that diary, did you get the chance to watch it?
I did a little bit, and then of course I have some experience from the NASCAR Heat games, which have their career modes where you build your shop and you build and all these different types of things. And I'm definitely interested to hear what the audience has to say. But I think the one thing that's been missing from all of those, I think they've done some things really well with the career modes. But what iRacing's doing with it is they're bringing ARCA, which is fantastic. Yeah. And I think they're going to bring in the right physics to the game. A lot of the NASCAR heats and things like that really just didn't have, like, I think the last heat game I tried to play was NASCAR Heat 5, and it was just awful. The physics were awful. And you would have these big like pileups because the AI didn't know how to, unwreck themselves, and it was just horrid. So I think if you want to make a successful game that people from iRacing will actually go purchase and play on a console or something like that, bring the physics with you. Bring the real racing with you that feels, I mean, it's not going to feel the same as iRacing, because you have to be able to do it on these different platforms. But it sounds like, and everything that I've seen so far, starting at NARCA, having a robust career mode, and if they bring any little bit of touches of the iRacing physics to this thing, I think it's going to be a damn home run.
Yeah, I think there's places for an arcade mode and a sim mode that is a stark difference. A lot of times you'll get arcade sim. It kind of feels the same, just a little bit different. But I want to see like a real arcadey mode where people can go in there and wreck, and kids can play, and that's what they want to do. And then you put it on sim, and now you've got sort of a beefy, sim with tire heat and stuff matters. All that kind of stuff. I'm hopeful. I mean, iRacing's got a great, a back history of a backlog of really good games. So if anybody can do it, they can. So the question is, what was the best NASCAR game career mode? So I'd be curious to hear what folks said. I think Dirt to Daytona kind of was one that folks always kind of talk about, being able to go from dirt racing all the way up. NASCAR Heat or NASCAR 15, I think, had a pretty good one. But I go back to the old team up NASCAR Thunders and stuff that they had back in the day. Those were pretty cool. But I'd be curious to know what chat thinks about that. What had the best career mode out of a NASCAR game? And I always just loved the old NASCAR 2004 stuff, NASCAR Heat, where they just have a championship and you go out there and run it. The mod community's always had a really good presence there where you could have all three series. So I don't know, Pat, what do you think?
Yeah, well, like I said, I mean, the most recent one, those are the ones that come to mind for me. I don't think they've done a really good career mode in a very long time. Because I started racing all the sim stuff way back in the Papyrus days as well, and I still to this day don't think you beat those games. Well, that engine is what iRacing was built off of, the old Papyrus games. So, but when you look at when you look at some of the platform games, I think you have to take it as that. You have to take it, hey, this is an Xbox game. And if you play it like that and you have fun with it, they're good. I just wasn't a fan of the newest Heat game. It just, I don't know. It was just, but the previous ones, I think NASCAR like Heat 3 had a really good career mode that I enjoyed. But a lot of times with those games, it just becomes like rinse and repeat. They just update some paint schemes. It doesn't really change. So like you get the new game and you're like, cool, I got some new paint schemes, but it's still the same thing. So I am exceptionally excited to see when this game launches and how good it's going to be.
Yeah, I think one of the questions I put in here: what was the new NASCAR game? What does it need to do to be successful? And I think I'll just kind of slide that question into this one as a whole. I don't know. The bar is kind of low. I don't know what it needs to be. I don't know if it has to have anything particular. I think a good career mode it has to have. But just it needs to accurately represent what you see on the TV screen. I think a good AI is always welcome. Those always seem to be the toughest parts you race. And even like 2000, the NASCAR race 2003, you have AI that kind of run in a line, and it's just kind of didn't race like you would think it would. So, I think iRacing will nail the under the hood stuff that really matters. The UI needs to be good. It needs to not feel cheap, and and I think a good music track always makes a good NASCAR game. Everybody loves NASCAR Thunder because of the tracks and stuff. The music. So got to get good music. I know Dale Earnhardt Jr. was on I think Reddit or Twitter or something asking what music people want to see in the game. So I love that.
That's awesome.
Dale Jr. has been he of course he's on I think he's a executive producer of iRacing, I think, if I got that right, and he has is super involved in this game, which makes me happy. So Michael McCarthy saying physics. Let's see. Jamie Lipke says Dirt to Daytona was the best. Brian Frauheiger says PlayStation Twisted Metal. It's not a NASCAR name, Brian. Gosh. Golly.
Yeah, but the new season of Twisted Metal comes out in June. So if you never watched the first season of it, one, you're missing out. You don't know who Sweet Tooth is. But two, the new season comes out, which has nothing to do with NASCAR whatsoever. It's just an amazing show.
Yeah. Well, I don't. One thing I did always love about the one of the first games I ever played was NASCAR Heat, and they had challenges, which I really liked.
Yeah.
Do you remember those?
Oh yeah.
Where Bobby Labonte would come there and go, all right, well, I ran on it. You're just like, okay. And you go and try to do what he did. We started, Dale Earnhardt was in 18th with 4 laps to go. See if you can do it. I always thought those were a lot of fun. And they kind of took those out of a lot of games. So
yeah, I remember those. Those were kind of fun. You got 5 laps left to go. You're 3 seconds back, but you're on better tires. Can you make it? Can you make it to them? Yeah, those were a lot of fun. If they brought something like that back, that'd be pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, I think for me, career mode is top priority, and I was super pumped to see that today.
Yeah.
Because if I can get in there and I can really play as a driver working his way up through the ranks, and it feel like it's not it's not cheap, and it has a really good depth to how you get better. Because whenever I play those games, I like to really be. I like to suck. I like my equipment to be crappy.
I understand what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? Like I want to get in there and I'm just, I'm Hee Haw McGraw, and I've got, a couple $1,000. I'm gonna get me an ARCA car, and I'm gonna go out there and I need to suck.
Yeah.
I need to go out there and run in 20th. I need to know what it's like to be somebody who doesn't have all the funding, and have to work for it and have to do all the sponsor things, and that's what it kind of sounds like they're going for. So I'm hoping that's the case. I don't want to jump in and be a top level ride immediately. I want it to be something you have to really work for. So
yeah, I'm hoping the way that goes too, and I agree with you. Those were some of the funner ones when you had to go out there and scrap for a season to finish 21st. To make enough money to upgrade your stuff to go back the next season, and I hope that's the way they do it as well.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait. When's it coming out? Do you know?
Fall. That's the last I heard was the fall. Whatever that specifically means, I'm not real sure. But I heard fall.
Well, we'll kind of talk about this real quick because I know you wanted to talk about it. Willie B wins Daytona, the Daytona 500. You got that's Pat's favorite driver, and pretty cool to see him win. He stole from Jonah Colbert and went from 7th or 8th all the way to 1st on the last lap. That's pretty good, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends. Well, many people talked a lot about plate racing here recently in Daytona and those types of things, and I think there's some improvements. NASCAR, any organization can always improve. Anybody could sit back, on their couch and be like, oh, they need to do this or they need to do that, or, those types of things. I am one of the people that really love plate racing. I love doing it, on iRacing, obviously. I love watching it. I think there's just a lot that goes into it. There's a lot of luck that goes into it as well. I mean, you just got to be in the right place at the right time, but there's still some skill there, to put yourself in the right place at the right time. I thought it was a good Daytona race, really. Short of the 72-hour, rain delay that we had to all endure. But once they got it going, put it underneath the lights and got the race going. But yeah, that last lap was wild. To watch, Cole Custer kind of drift down, clip the 11 and all hell breaks loose. And then you just see the 24 squirt out. And I was yelling and screaming and everything else. My dogs were scared. But yeah, I mean, to accomplish what William Byron has done in his short career has been nothing short of amazing. To go back to back in the Daytona 500, he's only the 5th driver to ever do that. That was Hendrick Motorsports' 10th Daytona 500, which leads all organizations. So it was a good day. It was a good day.
Yeah, it was. 2 in a row. That's gosh, can't imagine what that feels like as a driver to win it the first time, but then to win it 2 years in a row, man, it's incredible. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what NASCAR needs to do on that on plate racing. It's always been sort of a strategy, type race anyway. Now it's all about fuel,
It is.
and because once the 3 lanes get blocked, there's really nowhere for you to go. So you have to fight for that track position, and they're always going to do what's best, even if it's boring.
Yeah.
And that's the tough part. But it seems like right now the way that the car is, it's sort of a pick two situation. You got 3 options, pick two. Do you want good short track? Do you want good mile and a half, or do you want good super speedway? And you really can only pick 2. Some people might argue just one, but I thought the Bowman Gray race was really good. I thought
Oh, that was
that went
amazing.
great. So maybe short tracks have gotten a little bit better. They get a little softer tire, but it just seems like you can't have it all with this car. That's the tough
No,
part.
there's been a lot, and we were talking pre-show too, about Ryan Priest's, getting airborne again.
Yeah.
I don't know that there's any way that you could ever prevent that from happening. I mean, I know there was a lot of discussion about aerodynamics, and you could do this and you could do that, but just rewind the clock before the current, Gen 7 car. Plenty of cars getting in the air. That car didn't have a flat bottom like the current car does. So I don't think the flat bottom has anything to do with it. Those cars were getting airborne long before that. And I think NASCAR is doing everything they can, but there are just some weird circumstances that are going to happen when that car, his car jumps over the right front of another car, which puts him in the air, and all that air is going to catch underneath there. I mean, there's no stopping it at that point in time. And it was this slow rise and flip. But you look at all the safety innovations they've done, and guys just get out of those cars, probably got their bell rung a little bit, but they get out of the cars. So I don't know. I've never been too critical of organizations like NASCAR and things like that because I don't know all the intricacies behind it. I know it from a fan standpoint, but that's most of the time it's just an opinion. I don't know. I'm not an engineer either, so please don't ask me about aero coefficients and whatever the crap in hell else and whatever. I think NASCAR is doing absolutely everything that they possibly can. And I think they've done a lot with the next gen car to make it extremely safe. And they found out after the first year when that car was backing into the wall and kind of ended Kurt Busch's career, knocked Alex Bowman out for a couple of races, and so they made the back of the car a lot weaker, so it would crush more. So I still think they're learning a little bit about this car. I think they're still learning a little bit about the diffuser and how the air really works underneath the car. But if you look at it in any other if you just kind of look at it, I don't care what car you put on that track. If it gets up in the air and gets a little sideways, it's getting blown over. We've seen it we've seen it in Xfinity that doesn't have this kind of flat bottom. You see it all the time.
Yeah.
You see it in trucks. So the argument that it's the flat bottom and all that stuff, no. It's just a car going 200 miles an hour that catches the air in a very odd way. And, the roof flaps and all that stuff can't do their work because that's not what's happening at that point in time.
Yeah.
That's my take on it.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's no evidence to support anything against what you just said. These cars have been flipping forever. And the biggest difference now is they're not killing drivers, and I think that's the thing that NASCAR had to solve, and I think they've done a great job at that. All kudos to NASCAR. But everything they tune on and change, safety has to be number one. I think when you're maybe everybody's got their own opinion, but maybe your greatest driver ever dies on the track, there have to be changes. It just has to be. You can't. The NASCAR suffered greatly from that, and so they had to make changes, not just because they suffered, but because somebody died. And you know what I'm saying? You can't have folks dying. It's just it's bad for the sport, and it's bad for people's families. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all in. I hate saying it's bad for the sport because that sounds like I don't care about somebody died. But the idea that your best, that's like Michael Jordan, slamming his head on a backboard and dying, and it's like, okay, we're going to make changes to that backboard because we can't have them. We can't have folks doing that, and so kudos to them for doing that. But every little knob and stuff they change is gonna change the racing. Yeah, if you focus on safety, which they're gonna, safety
They
is
have.
first. Yeah, and they have.
Mhm.
It's gonna hurt the racing every once in a while, I think. So, I as long as they keep that up and they don't do stuff, they're not designing these things to flip over. I think that's
No.
the idea. The NASCAR is designing with every intention of making sure it stays on the ground. And that gummit, if the drivers don't figure out a way to, it's like putting the safer barrier everywhere. They put the safer barrier all over the damn track, and Kyle Busch hits the one freaking
Right.
spot that
Finds the
doesn't
one
have,
spot. Yeah.
and breaks his leg, and then NASCAR's like, what the hell? So
Yeah. I don't think there's anything NASCAR
it's car
could.
racing, man. We're
Yeah,
racing cars. We're not. They are
Right.
at 200 miles an hour.
It's just gonna. It's a
Yeah.
product of it. I don't think NASCAR could do anything different right now to prevent that from happening.
Yeah.
If that car gets in the air on its own accord, it's not like it just all of a sudden lifted off the ground because it turned into a wing.
Yeah.
He jumped up in the air because he went over another car, and at that point, yeah, I don't. If you're a piece of plywood, you're going to go flying through the air. I mean,
well, they're stuck to the ground. Like the diffuser
Yeah.
does exactly that, just suck the car to the ground. So
Yeah.
that is about as good as it gets.
Yep.
Outside of just blowing up plate racing where you run, two cars, drive off from each other, which nobody wants. I don't know. I don't know what you can do. I think NASCAR has done a great job. Ryan Preece gets out every single time. And I know he wouldn't want to hear that, but he has, and it's good. He can sit there and talk to reporters after the fact, after doing that. And pretty much every driver since has done that. They've done a good job.
I think so. And I don't blame Ryan for his comments after the race either. In the heat of the moment, you're just like, good Lord, but you go back and you look at the situation and you look at everything, and then really, I say thank God for NASCAR and all the safety innovations they've done. Go flip your Honda Accord like that and see if you walk away from it.
Right.
It ain't gonna happen. But walk away from it, uninjured, anything. Can go back racing the very next day. I think NASCAR's put in an exceptional amount of effort into safety and those types of things, because guys are walking away from that type of stuff to go in front of the camera and bitch about NASCAR. What a great world we live in.
Yep. Well, still a really, really great race. Looking forward to Atlanta. Atlanta has been better and better every year that Georgia sun kind of bakes that track a little bit. It's gotten way better than it started. So I'm excited for that race. I was a big hater. I still am. I still miss old Atlanta. But I get it now. I get it. After the last couple races, I think, I've kind of turned the corner of like, maybe I was too harsh on Mr. Smith, and I think it's a pretty good ticket.
Yeah, the more that track ages, the better that racing is going to get. I think you're right, Eddie. It'll get better for the years to come for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if it kind of turns into the old Talladega Daytona before it was super tight pack racing, where it kind of spreads out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
We saw that a little bit last year, where cars with good handling were able to sort of separate themselves, and people were not able to go full throttle. They were actually having to lift a little bit, drive it in deep and lift. And so that's going to make it interesting. I can't wait to see that kind of play out. But what else we got?
I think that's it.
We've been
good.
We pretty much knocked it out of the park. Go check out the standings. We're not going to talk about the standings here on this one, but go check out where everybody is on the standings. It's starting to flesh itself out a little bit. It's been a really nice off week. Looking forward to get back racing though. Gosh, it don't take but a week off that I'm like, man, I gotta get back on track.
Yeah.
We did a 87 race the other night. That was a lot of fun.
That was a blast. I hadn't been behind the wheel of that car in forever, and I forgot how much car. Man, that car's just fun. I think I say that about almost every car, but that car is just fun. I'll
put the 87s a day up against anything. I'd love to see what. It's just an interesting, very unique way of driving a track that's usually boring to me. You really have to think, and
especially when the track temperature is 136 degrees.
Praise God, baby, come on. Well, guess we better get out of here.
Yeah,
man, what a great show. Thank y'all for joining and being a part of it as always. Go check out Alexander PCs if you're looking for a computer. Maybe now's a good time. I don't know. Maybe wait a couple months. But if you're looking to buy one, you better go to Alexander PC. You could tell those guys really care, and man, great guys, and support Goat Locker. So go check them out. Of course, want to thank. I'll get this up on the screen for you. Little Alexander PC. Boom. Pause it if you ever want to. If you want to get that QR code. And then happyhourracing.com. There's QR code. That's ATYL Media's newest partner. Then they got some great gear. Go check it out. Scan that thing and go support them. ATYL 20. Let me get this right. 2025 is the 10% off promo code. So now's after the first race of the season, you're all amped up for from NASCAR racing. What a better time to buy some good swag, and the prices are very reasonable. They got some good products. Let's support those. Support us. I nailed that. Thank y'all so much for being in chat. And as always, thank SAVE22 Vet. I'm falling apart here, Pat. SAVE22.vet. Go check them out. If you're not subscribed to the YouTube, I've been begging y'all, and y'all have done a great job. But if you're not subscribed, it doesn't hurt you one bit to go hit that subscribe button. Scan that right there. Take them to the website. You can go to @SAVE22Vet on YouTube. Go check them out. Support them. They're doing great work. And go check out the episode with John Moser. I think that was a pretty damn good episode. And then go over to SAVE22Vet. Check out the episode that they did with Patrick Dravick. That was a good one as well. All right. Well, we're going to get out of here, Pat. You got anything else?
Bye.
See y'all later. Bye. Eventually, we're going to go. There it is.